All right guys, it's Jared here, the head coach at Purpose Fitness, and today I'm going to take you through the 5 worst exercises you can be doing in the gym. All right guys, first up, we've got hip thrust. All right guys, that is one of the worst exercises you can be doing. All right, you want to be doing a more controlled movement, and too often we see that's 60 kilos, but too often I'm seeing 60 kilo females doing over 200 kilos of hip thrust. No control, thriving that weight straight up. All right, it's one of the worst things you can do. All right, we see a lot of actual posture and spinal complications coming down the future of those hip thrusts. And that also is accompanied with other formations of their training. But this puts a lot of pressure through the spine. All right, studies have actually shown that the pressure and the weight on that spine can also lead to a blowout pressure. So when we look at the spine, we look at compressive force, all right, and that's going directly down with the gravity of the spine. And we've got shear force. So shear force is the direct impact. That shear force on the spine, all right, and studies have proven that that kind of shear force can cause blowout pressure into the spine, which is the last thing you want to be doing. There's no support in the thoracic range, all right, so what you're actually doing is if you don't actually have control of that weight, you're going to be blowing out your midsection, creating a lumbar lordosis situation in the spine, all right, and ineffective for the glute activation. It'd be much better utilizing a machine or jumping on the floor and doing a isolated glute bridge. That way you're getting less range through the spine mobility, less drive through the quads with its range from the bent position, all right, and that way you'll get better activation through the glutes.
The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the
All right guys, so that was a variation of a rear delt that a lot of people I see in the gym are doing. All right, that is actually not how we want to be executing a rear delt movement or rear delt fly. Right, what we're seeing is when we're in this position, a lot of people are externally rotating this way. All right, they're actually directing the elbows well below, which is allowing for the scapula to take over. All right, they're doing a lot of jerking, so the scapula is actually retracting to take a lot of that load. The rear delts aren't actually in their alignment, so they're not actually getting hit how they should be. What you essentially want to do is line yourself up on the bench, all right, driving directly out with the elbows and externally rotating. I like pinkies out mentality, so pinkies out will help you guide your pinkies out in the right direction to the side of the walls where you want to hit. So you want to aim for peripheral vision out directly to the side, followed with the elbows. All right guys, so what we were doing then was the dumbbell external rotation, so it's good for rotator cuff activation. That's typically what a lot of people are doing. However, though, it's not effective for actually targeting the rotator cuff. So what we want to do is actually lay down with the dumbbell, all right, digging the elbow into the side so it's nice and stable, letting the full rotation down to your midline of the body, all right, and then what we're going to do is dig the elbow in, rotate the dumbbell towards the ceiling. Hold for a slight pause second, and then repeat. All right guys, so dumbbell external rotations in this form is extremely effective. All right, you can use it as a pre-warm-up or activation drill. It can also be used within the conditioning program, all right, for its conditioning purposes. However, though, I prefer to utilize it as more of a conditioned warm-up phase, so pre-activation drill. Reason being is, as a general lifestyle, we're typically always interiorly rotating, all right, rather than externally rotating. So it's not like we walk around like this, we're always like this, we sit like this, we work like this, all right? So we're very much programmed interiorly, not exteriorly. So what happens is we don't really activate those external fibers that we need to. So prior to any sort of chest or shoulder day, all right, to get the fibers really activated and driving exactly where we're weak, it's a perfect exercise to start your program on.
And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious.
All right guys, that was a variation of a pull down, and that's something that we see quite a lot in the gym. All right, a lot of people are using a lot of thoracic extension to optimize the lat activation. In fact, that is actually probably one of the worst ways to get the lats on fire, all right, or even activated. So what we're gonna do is show you exactly how you wanna be setting up in your lat exercising. All right guys, so when we're in this position, the worst thing you can do is optimize thoracic extension. You wanna keep a nice stable core. So what we actually do is we brace inwards with the core, all right? What we wanna do is actually slide yourself under the alignment of the cable, That way, when we're looking at the line of direction is passing straight through the lat in its full extension position and full shorten position.
We're reaching for the stars, we're making this too hard, and I wonder where you are.
All right, guys, so that is not the way you want to be doing shoulder presses. What we see is a lot of people in the gym, all right, they have the seat back on a 45 or even further back than this. All right, and what they do is they're actually pressing a lot with their upper pec range, all right, and very heavily interiorly delt focused. At the same time, they're lagging abdominal core, all right, and they're actually blowing out the midsection, creating a lot of lordosis in the lumbar region of the spine. What we want to do is we want to actually have a better bracing mechanism when we're doing a press. One, for posture reasons, two, all right, and also to prevent any sort of hernias or injuries coming from the abdominal blowout. And at the same time, we actually want to be focusing on the line of directions to better activate our 3 heads of the shoulder. All right, guys, so as you can see, the bench is actually in a 90-degree position. All right, what I'm actually going to do is before I'm pressing, all right, I want to get my feet even, brace my abdominal and lumbar spine into the bench, keeping head towards the wall, straight ahead, all right, and then driving straight through the elbows directly up in vertical plane.